Hello, everyone. This is Demetrius Curry coming to you from Brighter Days Ahead, guys. I'm so excited that we are here for the first episode behind the scenes of Brighter Days Ahead. And I'm so excited that we actually have our marketing team with us today with the Brighter Days Ahead family. And one of the things that's very, very important to me is that I have to give acknowledgement and give some shout outs to people that were there from day one that helped me with this whole process. And so before I go any further, I want to introduce these wonderful, amazing, talented group of team. And I can tell you, leading that team is none other than Mr. Christopher Thomas from the NMM Group digital marketing platform. And he has been my brand manager for 3-4 years now. So always been in the midst of everything and has helped me along the way with this particular process. And I want to just stop for a second and say, Chris, are you there?
There we go. There we
I
go.
hear you now.
There we go. Yeah, we here. How you doing?
I am doing amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, I was listening. I'm like, I had to do some math. I'm like 3 or 4 years. 3 years COVID. So
has it been that? I'm in 2018, so it's actually been about 4 years.
5
years.
Yeah.
It's been about 5 years. We started in the whole 2018 era.
Absolutely.
Wow. Time flies when you're having fun, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations to you and along with congratulations to you and everything. I'm so excited about BDA Brighter Days Ahead and the launch of it. It's been an exciting experience. I learned a lot from it as well, and from your experiences that you've put out, there, what you've learned from, and how you've been able to reshape, your life and your mindset. So it's very impactful.
Thank you for that. I have to bring on Miss April Dudley Brooks. I like to mess with her a little bit. I'm like, listen now, how many names you got out there? I have to bring on Miss April, who is also our social media manager, and she has been working with us. And I tell you, you guys together are like crazy mad energy. And you always keep me on my toes, always keeping me on my toes. I mean, just D, you're supposed to be doing this and you're not doing that. What's going on? Miss April, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you just fine. I hear you just fine. Guys, I'm telling you, this has just been an amazing journey with both of you. Before we get too far deep into the Brighter Days Ahead behind the scenes, I want to take time to say thank you for just keeping me accountable, keeping me on my toes, and pushing me when I really didn't want to be pushed. So, thank you so much for that. Definitely. Chris, let me start off with you. We've actually been working together, like you said, for it feels like a little bit longer than that because I've learned so much from you along the way. And when I first came to you saying, hey, I wanted to brand myself, I wanted to learn how to, put my business out there and put my brand out there. And I came to you and I said, what do we do to talk about one of my projects that I never got a chance to pull out and that I really don't know what to do? And you encouraged me to bring it to the market, and I mean, it's just so interesting about how it's really hard to push yourself, but sometimes other people see things in you that you don't see in yourself. You know what I mean? And so you were that person for me from the very beginning to help me in my brand and to say, hey, you can do this. So, where did it all begin for you in making sure that we put it out there in space correctly for the Brighter Days Ahead movement?
First off, Demetrius, I would like to say, thank you for allowing me to be, on this platform, your platform with you this evening. It's such an honor. And thank you for the compliment. And it also has been an honor to work with you. I've learned a lot from you. I've learned a lot from your experience, and when I first heard about Brighter Days Ahead and saw the can't really, I guess we'll call it, for the sake of this, call it the manuscript of it, even though it had been published before. Mm-hmm. I said, you know what, it's like I can't, it's something just came to my mind. I can't recall exactly who stated it, but it's like, you got to do something with this, right? And that's what immediately came in my mind. And so, however, and then not only do something with it, but how do we grow it, as well, to be able to expand it, to do other things, to reach your goals that you personally wanted to reach, within a 5 to 10 year time frame. Mm-hmm. And so that would all complement, what you do, as a wealth strategist, as well. And it's amazing to how we created, during the time, we created another platform, which was called, going into 2020, Wealth with a Vision, of course. And it seems like, it's like 2020 seems so long ago now.
I know, it seemed like it was such a long time ago, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So during the time it was Wealth with a Vision, and we were using components of Wealth with a Vision to help to kind of give you a platform to create a way to talk about, the brighter days, and for people to be able to see you, as how you've been able to shape your life, from the reshaping from a mindset point of view, that soared you into so many, new directions, as far as with your family life, with your personal life, along with your business, how it has catapulted and just grown so much, as well. So everything complemented, one another. It wasn't perfect, however, because it was new, we're creating something new, and creating a new brand. You have to be patient with it. You have a plan, but you can't be as stiff as steel. It has to be pliable. It has to be adaptable. So, and you were good to work with.
You're being nice.
You were good to work with, because when you're talking about your sweet spot are numbers, right? Those are facts. When it comes to marketing, it's there's a strategy to it, and it is a science. However, it's a lot more creativity, that's actually there. That's probably a little bit more than the average number, finance or CFO type, which that's what you are,
right?
More than you are used to or like to see or to work with. But you were very adaptable through the entire process, and it's just so amazing to see where the book is, right now, as a result of it all. So,
yeah, and as a result of it all, we've been, now in the United States, and we're, in the last places I've seen, and you can correct me on this, you see more of the reports than I do, but, with us being, in Germany and Poland and all these other places that have picked us up with the push of so much of what your team has done, and press releases and things of that nature. So yeah, it sort of all worked together, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it sort of all worked together. April, you have been, should I tell you, this girl right here, guys. She's the one that always jumps on me and said, Miss D, I thought I told you. I'm not gonna spank you today. I know you're tired, but
Mhm.
and that's always the approach that she takes with me, right? I try to be better. I try to be better, but it's always great to have a great team around you to keep you accountable, right? And so, and to also to give both of you guys additional accolades on top of just the marketing only. Chris, you and your team created the actual cover
Mhm.
of the book. His team. Unfortunately, Summer and Michaela couldn't be here with us today, but you guys did a wonderful job on pulling this together. And I know that Chris, you and I, we went back and forth on whether I should or should not put my face on this cover. I wasn't really sure about that. Literally, he was like, yes, no, yes, no. We went back and forth a lot with that. And then April did the back cover of the book. So both of you had your hands not only in the marketing side of it as far as digital, but also the front and back of this book. Chris, tell me about this process right here, about this here. We actually,
I can imagine.
when I tell you there was a process, April, and April knows this because her and I went back and forth
Yeah,
on
it
this
took a
like
minute for the
10,000
back.
times. Yes.
So I can imagine the front.
You can imagine the front. You and I were like, you was like, Miss D, no, you need that picture. I'm like, no, I don't. I'm on the front. I don't want to be on the back. So you guys you really helped me with that. But Chris, let's talk about this front. And then April, we're going to talk about the back and what you did. Tell me about this process right here, and of course, how you had to fuss at me a little bit.
Yeah, well, that was that. That's part of it. That's the exciting part, kind of putting the creative touches together. There's a lot of patience, that has to go into, especially when you have multiple people involved and you have someone who's, looking at themselves and how they forever want to be portrayed, because, that is a forever. Now, you can eventually change the book cover if you like, but at this particular point, so many people have that cover and it's all over the internet, that actual cover. So this is how you're going to forever be portrayed. So I really have to, that creative process started out a lot earlier than the actual, the graphics part, right? I have to give a really good shout out to Michael Moore.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Who
definitely.
took the images, of that,
Yeah. He'll be on one of the
thankfully.
next segments.
That's the glam team.
He'll be on the glam team segment.
Glam
Yeah.
Yeah. So and don't, certainly, since you say glam team, certainly don't want to overlook Jessica, as
Yes,
well.
Lord. Yeah.
Who did the makeup, for that.
Yeah.
However, when it comes to Michael Mora, he and I, had the discussion. The discussion about the cover started about 90 days before the shoot.
Wow. I didn't realize that.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Start about 90 days before the shoot.
Okay.
So we kind of went back and forth, on this and, how this is going to be, set up. And I sent him over some looks. And one really good thing I have to tell everyone, Demetrius is really a good sport. She I say she's a good sport because, when they're professionals who do certain things and you've already vetted them out, if you've worked with them and know where, that you have trust in them and confidence, she allows them to do what they're professionals at. So Demetrius allowed us to be, to mold her, into this, hey, this is what I recommend. This is what we're envisioning, yada, yada, yada. This is the color that, this is the hairstyle that you need. This is the color of the lipstick that we need to kind of go after. This is the look, that we're going after as well. and it came together. It came together. So
Mhm.
Michael Moore has a wonderful eye.
Yes,
There
he
were
does. Yes, he
Mhm.
does.
he took hundreds of pictures.
Yes, he did.
So we had so many
To choose
images
from. Mm-hmm.
uh, to select from,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the hard part because you had so many of them. You had so many of them, and but it's always a fun time, fun experience. So it started there. And then I think you and I took another 30 days or so to select the right images. We went back and forth on that.
Yeah.
Once that was selected, then we got with Summer, to the the graphics team,
Yeah.
and laid out, and that took about another 30 days, or so.
Mm.
And so I mean, you're talking about a good 6 months, or so,
For the cover.
on the creative part,
Mhm.
within itself. And not talking about behind the scenes what Demetrius is already doing, still editing and everything else, and working with editors and working with
Mm-hmm.
the content, from a revamping the content, how it
Mm-hmm.
needs to open and how it needs to be structured. And I had a little bit of input, on that particular part as well, from a marketing standpoint, from a growth, and it was accepted, and
Mm-hmm.
implemented into the um, final piece, as
Mm-hmm.
well. So um, yeah, and it's well, I mean, I'm speechless.
I
So
tried to be, and I tried to be a good sport. They had me out there sweating. It was like, do this pose and that pose. I'm like, this feels different, but okay,
yeah, yeah.
But
If it feels weird, that's going to be a great shot.
yeah.
I
Mhm.
promise
And this was one of those weird shots because I was sitting
you.
on the staircases and things like that. And Michael was like, yeah, shift over this way and scoot this way. So it actually worked out very, very well. And, even on the back cover, April, when I told you that I wanted butterflies inside of this book, and we put butterflies in the book to really give the understanding of transformation and metamorphosis. And you said, hey, well, you got butterflies on the inside of the book. Put butterflies on the outside of the book. I said, I don't know about putting butterflies on the outside of the book, April. I'm not sure about that, right? And she was like, let me do it, Dee. Let me do it. And when you started working on the outside cover of the book, and if you look at it, when you get the book, you can see that there's shadows of butterflies behind the red. You can barely see it, but it's there. And it's just a touch of bringing the inside out. And
Mhm.
so that was one of the things that you and I talked about. And on this particular picture, this was one of those pictures, Chris, that we talked about
Yeah.
that felt weird because I was sitting in a glass chair and the chair is see-through and I was looking backwards and it sort of felt kind of weird, but it ended up being one of our best shots.
Mhm. That's the one
Um,
I picked immediately. The minute I saw it, that was the perfect one to go in the back.
yeah, yeah. You was like, no, that's it right there. That's the one.
That
Like,
was the perfect
I
one.
don't know about this, April. She's like, trust me, this is
Yeah.
it. That's the one.
Yeah, that one because it still gave, in the front cover you had the smile and it's more the back one is more off to the side. It's like you're still looking back. You're still thinking about everything that you finish or accomplish in the book. So it's kind of like if you look at it that perspective, maybe that's just how I took the picture. But that's
Yeah.
how I thought about it when I saw that picture. And so that's why I picked that one.
Well, you did an amazing job creating the back cover. Thank you so very much for what you pulled into it as well. And not even beyond that, we went into how we're going to present this to the media, right? How we're going to present this to the media, how he's going to get into social media. And one of the things that I was sort of interested in finding out was how people were going to react to it, right? Because it was such a personal piece of work. It was such a personal piece of work, which is what took 10 years to get it out from the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you were getting so many messages from people that actually got the book, maybe in
Yeah.
ebook form or paperback, and you were saying, you know, giving me feedback on what you were hearing and what they were telling you, and what they were finding, and even yourself, and some of the things that you found in the book that was amazing, that really helped you along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Share with us, you know, some of the things that you had a chance to witness with some of the testimonials that we've received from this particular book.
Well, there was like an overwhelming, like it was a lot, like a flood of testimonials coming in, which is really good. It was, I'm an avid reader of all types of books, and usually you just gloss over the testimonials. It's usually not a lot, but this
Mhm.
time you got a lot of testimonials of people that actually was thoughtful. They thought about what they said and actually shared that the book that they read and the journaling part of it actually changed their lives. It transformed them into something. And that was the biggest impact, that it was, you hear it, I mean,
Mhm.
you read it, but to actually hear people say that the book actually impacted them and made a difference, it hits a little different.
Yeah.
It hits
Yeah.
a big difference, that a book that you just see and no one, like anyone outside, just sees the book and be like, oh, okay. But then when you hear people say that that book made them take an internal look at themselves and see
Mm.
their situation, and instead of an understanding, they had an understanding of themselves, and they were able to grow and transform from there, hence the butterflies. So it's a transformational growth. And then, as you say, you see brighter days ahead, as you know, with the transformation. So hearing
I
the
tell you.
testimonials, people don't understand how impactful that is, to hear, for other people to hear it and for them to get it as well.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I heard one young lady tell you, she sent it in a text message. She was like, "I needed this on
Mhm.
this day. I needed this on this day." And I think that was probably one of the biggest testimonies that stuck with me. And she didn't go into a whole lot of details of what was going on with her, but she was literally in tears when she said it. She said, "I needed this on this day." So I felt that really made a difference in what she was going through at that time. So thank you for sharing that with me. That's just, it's something to see, because like I said, this was a kind of a personal piece of work for me, and I wanted to use it in such a way where it helped other people, you know, go through whatever they were going through at that time. So I'm excited about that, and I'm humbled to even hear that you've had even more feedback than some of the things, you know, that I actually thought it would do. Um, it has gone from being a book of sharing with different people to now everywhere retail stores, and you know, we get a chance to see it in different places like, you know, Walmart and Target and all these other retails, Barks and Noble, Barnes and Noble and Books a Million, and all of those places. So I'm excited that we have that.
Mhm.
Chris, you and I were talking some time ago about taking this thing globally, or you know, what's going to happen if it get into other, you know, international waters, and how that could be so impactful for us. You know, we've had different articles, we've been featured on different mediums and magazines and things of that nature. What have you seen just in what you and Michaela, you guys have done an amazing job with the press releases, and getting it into the hands of so many mediums, but what are you seeing out there right now of what people are being drawn to, those mediums, what they're being drawn to, and how it's getting out there?
That is a really good question. Do you mind if I take your viewers back just a little bit?
Sure.
They really appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So your book released was
November 15th.
November 15th.
Mm-hmm.
And but the previous date was what? You quite
The
remember?
August, you talk about the previous.
But there was a previous date for it to release prior to that. And then the publisher, you know, stated they made some adjustments, and it just wasn't in the hand
right
for it to release on that time period, which was a few months before.
August 1st. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then we found out that the new release date is November the 15th of 2022.
Mm-hmm.
We said, okay, great. We're preparing for that. Then we find out that former First Lady Michelle Obama's book is releasing the same day.
The same day. I was like, huh?
And so, listen, Demetrius called me and was like, hey, you'll never guess who else's book is releasing on that day.
Out of all the days.
He said, former Lady Michelle Obama. She said, how am I going to compete against her? Now, we were texting one another, so we're having this conversation via text message. So I paused for a moment. I say, you know what? How about we shift the narrative and present it as a compliment? Mm-hmm. Demetrius thought about it for a moment. She said, you know what? That may just work. So that's how we position, because we had a release planned anyway about how we were going to go about this, but we had to shift the whole marketing campaign around, because within a matter of 4 weeks, because we found out that her book was releasing, that same exact day. So we had to shift the marketing campaign around. We had content that we were already creating, evergreen content that we were creating as well. So we had to shift that a little bit also, but it worked.
Yeah,
it worked. So I wanted to kind of give your viewers, a little bit of a backstory in order for them to really appreciate why you asked that particular question. And thank you for allowing me to share it. Because, everyone gets the opportunity to see this beautiful book, and read the beautiful content of it, but don't know the history that goes into, putting together such a wonderful piece of art. It was a lot. And we had to make some shifts. But moving forward from that, we researched and found some other creative platforms to be able to and then not only to mention is that not only did Michelle Obama have their publisher have a lot more money to inject into marketing and advertising. She has millions of followers already on her site. Then you have with her, just any media outlet's going to pick her up just because she's a former first lady anyway. So there was so many things that were out there. So with Demetrius, even though your brand, people know you, and people know you, worldwide. This is the first book, right? So there were so many there are other challenges that were presented that we really had to get creative, about, to show that, applying what everyone learned in your piece of art in Brighter Days Ahead, it works. And so painting that particular picture and delivering that, and so that the world could actually see, delivering that so that other platforms will want to pick it up, such as the Targets. And Target's one of the tougher ones to get into.
Yes. Absolutely.
And then, so to for them to be able to see that, it was such a blessing for everything to work out, even better than the way that we saw it. There were some challenges behind the scenes, but it worked out better than we saw it.
Let me tell you, let me add to that, because remember when we initially started pulling this together, we thought it was going to come out initially in January of 2022. But then I had the car accident in December of 2021. And I was in a bad position physically. And I said, 6 months of rehab. How am I going to tell you guys about brighter days ahead when I'm struggling with this rehab, right? But it put me really literally in a mindset that I had to actually physically walk what I was saying, that things were going to get better, that you had to push through some of those hard times. And the delay was, I knew I wasn't physically ready to get out there and talk to people about brighter days. I wasn't physically able to get onto stages. I wasn't physically able to do some of those things. And I was like, wait a minute, not only did we have some changes in dates and in marketing strategy and moving this and moving that, but there were some challenges physically that was completely out of all of our control, right? And that was also an add-on to the changing of what's going on behind the scenes. And it wasn't in my timing. Someone just said it was in God's timing. You're right. It was literally in God's timing, that it wasn't in my timing. I really had to pull myself back. Sometimes you ever heard that you have to step back to step forward? And that's exactly where we were in this process. I'm excited about what has happened with it so far, though, right? Aren't you guys excited? This is such a big project. And I couldn't actually market myself without marketing you guys. Y'all are in this book. Y'all know your name is in here, right? Y'all like, oh, your names are all in this book throughout. So no matter where you are and where you're going, your name is in writing. And I actually had the opportunity to speak with another author earlier today, and he is knocking on 70 years old. And he said something that was so profound. He says, listen, you got to understand, he said, I didn't write my first book till I was 65. And he said, I wanted to leave a legacy behind. I don't have any children. All I have is godchildren. And I have a lot of students, because he comes from the education field. He said, but once I leave here and I don't leave any seeds behind, this is my seed to leave with them and to plant inside of them. And he says, as long as I'm planting seeds, this book will always be in the atmosphere, whether I'm here on this earth or not. And it sort of set in with me. And I said, I've heard that a lot, that people leave their books, they leave their piece of art behind, even if they're no longer here on this earth. But at the same time, he's saying that, hey, I never had the opportunity to have children. So I've adopted other children. I've, become their godfather and things of that nature. And he said, even some of my students come back to me as if and say, hey, you were my father figure for many years and you didn't know it, right? And he said that the 3 books that he's written since 65 that have been publicly, put out there and have been published, he said those is his seed. And you guys will get a chance to listen to that testimony later on. He's going to be on our Authors Unite show. And you'll get a chance to hear him live when we release that particular recording. But it was just amazing to hear him say that this is his seed that he's left behind for other people to be able to use and to witness some of the things that he's gone through and give them some nourishment, give them some wisdom. Isn't that profound, Chris?
That is, and I've thank you for sharing that. I've heard statements like that before, and so that's a wonderful, absolutely.
Yeah.
I can't wait. April, you know what I can't wait? I've been out last week. I got a chance to watch Best Man. I immediately thought about the writing of the books and saying, Demetrius, we're going to turn this thing into a movie.
Let's go. go. What you waiting on? Let's go.
I don't see why not. I don't see why not.
I don't see why not. Let's turn it into the movie, guys. Let's turn it into a movie. Oh my God, man. And one of the things I always do is that, I always tell people that the people around me that are friends, that are colleagues, that are business partners, that are associates, if you're in my space and I let you in my space, I want to make sure that everyone around me is eating. Because it's better, we all sitting at the table, one person by themselves eating is not enough. Don't you guys agree that everyone around you need to be eating and being nourished in some way? So I want to make sure that you guys take a few minutes to tell them how to get in contact with you and connect with you for your services. Okay, definitely for your services. What can they do to learn more about what you do in media and possibly become a client? Chris, April, whoever wants to go first, how do they reach you?
Chris, go ahead.
Oh, thank you, April. I was going to say ladies first. I guess you'll put. I'm probably a few years older than you, so I guess you'll take age before beauty. Huh?
Yeah, we can go with that.
There you go.
I look that young that you think I'm that young, so we're gonna go with that.
Yeah.
Girl, take that compliment. What you talking about?
I mean, hey, young, smart, and beautiful. I mean, that's a deadly combination.
That's what we're surrounded by.
Well, thank you, Demetrius. I really appreciate that. Again, it's such I've learned a lot, working with you, on this, and it's been such an honor to work with you, on this, on your project, and everything else that we're continuing to work on as well. But and thank you for the opportunity to share my information with your audience. You can reach me. We have a website, inmm.group. So that's nmm.group is our website. And my direct phone number you can reach is 833-466-6477. And that's it. Actually, you could text that number as well. So someone on either myself or someone else on our team will get that text message.
Awesome. Miss April?
You can reach me through, since I'm social media, you can reach me on any social media. So I'm on IG and Facebook. On IG, I'm at April_help. So it's like April Help. And on Facebook, we have our Facebook page, which is adhelpvirtualsolutions.com. And of course, we do the content creation, social media manager, website design, course creations, anything else, VA services. I also dabble in healthcare, so I also do policies and procedures for hospitals, as for nursing homes, assisted living, and group home type settings. So I'm kind of like a Jill of all trades. So I do a little bit of everything because I believe with all that I have, I want to help out as many people as I can. And if I have these skills and these services, I want to make sure I can help as many people as I can do that. So that's why I offer so much.
And you've actually been with me, 3 years now? Has it been 3 years?
Yes, 3 years.
3 years. Yes. Wow. Mm-hmm. So you guys went 3 and 5. 3 and 5. And Chris, you didn't actually go into much detail about what all you do, but your team on the digital side and so many areas. You're going to have to give us some input.
We got a whole laundry list.
Hey, thank you, but
we got about another hour. We got another hour.
This is thank you. But this, I will take the opportunity since you insist. But yes. This is about you. This is about you. This is about brighter days ahead. But since you insist.
I told you we all have to eat, right? That's my motto. So, hey, go ahead.
I always say, if you got the opportunity, if someone's opening it up, go ahead and take it. So,
yeah, you got to let yours shine because y'all do a lot of good stuff. So you got to let everyone know.
Thank you. So we're a marketing and branding agency. We've worked within over 50 different industries. We pride ourselves, over that. I've been an entrepreneur for, about 33 years. And the sweet spot's been marketing and branding. So we have a unique way of identifying where and how a company can reinvent themselves and in some unique ways, and turn that into something that continues, and you can automate that and continue to be able to see your profitability and scalability and growth from it. So that's what we do as a marketing agency.
Awesome. So guys, I tell you, we're excited and we're thankful for everyone that's actually here with us this evening. If you are part of the Brighter Days Ahead book club, woo, we're excited. We have some additional things that's coming out for you that Miss April has facilitated. She has some things in store that she wants to make sure that we did a Brighter Days Ahead behind the scenes, which each of our groups. We started off tonight with the marketing team with Christopher Thomas and herself, April Dudley Brooks. And then we're also going to be doing another segment with our content creation team. Ooh, content creation and the Glam Squad. We mentioned them earlier tonight with Demi Howell, who did the hair, Tiffany, that actually did wardrobe, Michael Moore, who did also the photography. Oh goodness, so many. So many people were involved with this project, right? Oh my God. So many people was involved with this project. And so we have to make sure we get everybody in there, including makeup. We cannot forget Miss Jessica. Jessica, you are amazing. Had to make sure that we have them all in there. We're trying to coordinate time so we can get everybody together. We've been working on that, right, April? Like, oh goodness, everyone has such busy schedules. But we've been working and coordinating sometimes so we can get everyone together, as many as possible on the same platform. And then also behind the scenes with our publishing and distribution with Penn Legacy and Mr. Juan Monet and Beverly Jones Durr. I mean, they have been amazing with the inside content and helping me make sure that it made sense when it got out to the atmosphere, and making sure that we actually were in line with what it's supposed to be like on major platforms and major retail stores. Who knew that there was a creative way and a format requirement for you to be on retail stores and things of that nature outside of just being online? So I learned so much in this process, guys. I learned so much in this process. You would not know so much I learned. But I want to thank you guys for the opportunity to sit down with you and work with you as my marketing team. I appreciate you. I am honored to be a client. And I'm thankful that you push me when I don't want to be pushed, when I don't want to actually do anything, especially Chris, who said, hey, you didn't do what I asked you to do. So, like, this is what you asked me to do. You told me to hold you accountable. You didn't do it. Go do it, right? So I thank you guys for everything that you do and helping me bring this out to the atmosphere, okay?
Thank you for being
a part of it. You are so welcome.
Yeah.
You're so welcome. It's an honor, and congratulations again, in advance. So, I'm waiting for Brighter Days Part 2.
Yeah, we already said series, so we have we need to have a few.
Yeah. Did I slip up? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a series.
He's already spilling the beans and stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The beans. You can't just stop there. You got to
listen. I've already talked to distribution and publishing, and it was like, you got about 5 more books you need to have. This one out in 2023, and this one 2024. I was like, give me just a moment. Give me just a moment. But yeah, we are working on the next book. We are working on it.
I guess we've already put out into the atmosphere right now about the movie. So we'll be doing some type of filming, I guess,
in 2024. So it can be released in 2026. So I already put the dates out there for you.
There we go. Hey, you just need to figure out who you want to cast to play you on the scene.
Yeah. We need a cast and a director.
That's gonna be hard. That's gonna be hard. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll try to figure that one out. We'll try to figure that one out. But you have, sometimes you're like, we're gonna try to do this a little bit big or a little bit small. I'm honestly, I just been let it do what it do. I really have. I haven't pushed it in any particular direction. I've just asked God to put his super on top of the natural, and it's just been working. It's just been working. So I'm thankful that, he has his hands on it. You know what I mean? And it's just been doing its own thing. So I'm just going to continue to let God lead, right? Just let him lead.
And look out for book signings will be starting soon. So look out for book signings coming your way.
Yeah, you guys are scheduling that. So yeah, they are actually working on book signings. We've had requests in different cities and states that we come over and do some things. In the month of March, we'll be doing some stuff in Connecticut and Delaware. We're sitting down with a few magazine covers that have requested to put us on their cover for this book, which is wonderful. And so we have a few other things that's coming forward. Next month in February, we're sitting down with some nonprofit organizations. They've asked to use this book with their teenagers as a roundtable discussion in the areas of self-esteem and self-confidence. And that's going to be in Birmingham, Alabama. So I said, wow, that's even a blessing. Someone just said, Texas, please.
Yeah,
oh, Lord, we got to go to Texas. April, you going to drive? You going to come down to Texas with me? So, I was just like, oh, wow. You want me to come up to Connecticut? We did get a invitation from Connecticut, a big nonprofit organization. Want to see if we would sit down with them on women achievement and empowerment. So we're scheduling out some things in 2023 to make sure that we're able to go to those locations and just talk about certain things, in self-confidence, fear, abuse. Those are so many areas that we cover in here, and just trying to do better and have more in life, So I'm sorry that I have to use my mess to make a message, but hey, it's working.
Yep.
I have to make that message. So thank you guys so very much. I'm gonna let you guys close it out. Close it on out, Chris. Close it out, Chris.
You're gonna sing for us.
Close it out, man.
Hey, listen, you know what? I will close it out by saying what is delayed does not mean it's been denied.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Delayed does not mean you are not going to have it, baby. It's going to come. Mm-hmm. It is going to come. We appreciate you guys being here with us tonight. And thank you for attending. Instagram, I see you out there chiming. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us tonight and listening in. Facebook, it's YouTube, Instagram. Everyone is actually chiming in from different areas. And I appreciate all of your love and your support. And I'm thankful that you had the opportunity to read Brighter Days Ahead. And if it's had any type of impact in your life, let us know. Send us a message, send us a text or an inbox message, and let us know if it was any way impactful or give you some type of, positive feedback. We really appreciate you. All right.
And if you purchase on Amazon right now, they only have 6 available. I just looked at it before I got on. So if you want to purchase on Amazon, it says there's only 6 more in stock. So get your copy. It didn't say have a date of when the next batch will be ready, but it just said 6 are in stock right now.
That's wonderful. And if you can't get it from Amazon, there's always Target. Yeah, Target and Barnes and Noble. Books A Million also have it. But the easiest way to find it is to go to demetriuscurry.com and just click on books, and it will actually route you to all stores that you can purchase Brighter Days Ahead from with Demetrius Curry. Okay. Mm-hmm. Thank you guys so very much. Talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.